You're kidding me. Ah, I don't want 8. I want 7. There we go. 6, 7, as my kids say. Ah, I hate that. Shut up. One of the things I like about induction is that the top doesn't get hot, only the pan gets hot. So this will be a little hot from contact, but this is not scalding hot glass as if it was the old school cooktop like my grandmother had that was electric. Now here's the #1 thing I like about this cooktop. Check this out. I just finished cooking. I've got splatter from grease everywhere. I actually purposely didn't clean up last night. I'm gonna use a little simple green or some other cleaner. Remember all the grease I had here? Check this out. Boom. Look at that. In seconds, this thing will clean up. Okay, so I've had this cooktop 4 years. That is my #1 thing I love about induction. The cleanup. I can get this looking basically brand new after 4 years. You know the #2 thing I love about this? Yeah, there isn't a #2. This is a very frustrating top, and I don't think it's induction per se, but I think that there's a few things about this particular top that have bugged me from the beginning, and now here we are a couple years later. I'm ripping this out. The build show today, I'm gonna show you how we rip out this induction cooktop, and I'm going hybrid. I'm going dual fuel. I'm gonna have 2 sections of gas, 1 section of induction, and I'm doing it with the #1 brand on Consumer Reports. Today's build show is sponsored by Gaggenau. Let's get going. Check it out, y'all. Brand new dual fuel. This is my Christmas gift to myself and my wife. I've got 3 burners of propane, and now I've got 1 giant induction. Now, executive summary here, there's 2 things that I'm hoping you'll get out of this video. #1, I'm not trying to disparage induction. I think induction can be great. I think I actually made a bad choice in the one that I chose before. #2, I want you to consider leaving gas in some places where you might need it in the future. I built an all-electric house, and I frankly think that there was a mistake in 1 or 2 ways where I should have put gas in, this being one of them. So we're gonna explore both those themes. But first, if you're not familiar with gas versus electric, check out this Gaggenau. I love these front controls. One of the things that really bugged me about my old unit was that the controls on the old unit were on the cooktop, and they were touch controls that were sometimes finicky. So I'm just showing you that this is tap water, 70 degrees right here going in. I lit that burner. That's not actually the biggest burner, but it's my second to the biggest burner. And now we're gonna take an even bigger pot of water on the induction, and I'm gonna crank this baby up to 12. I'm gonna set a little timer while we're talking. One of the big deals about induction is they're quite fast, so we're gonna look at that. And now I've got the benefit of both worlds with both gas and induction. But these front controls are a really big deal for me. My previous unit, and again, I'm not disparaging that manufacturer or induction, but when I would have grease that would splatter out with those front controls, man, it was frustrating. It was like trying to operate your iPhone when it was raining and your hands were wet. It wouldn't, you know how your iPhone doesn't always swipe? It was the same thing on my controller. It worked about 60% of the time.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
But when it didn't work, it was super frustrating. Also, when I first moved in 4 years ago, I had the wrong pans and pots. They didn't work super well. I thought that they were induction capable, but they weren't really designed for induction. I found out later that I actually love cast iron. This is Stargazer cast iron. These are fantastic to cook with. These will work on both gas or electric. And on my induction, these worked really, really well. So I was really happy with those. Look at that, 1 minute in. Let's see how hot this is, just out of curiosity. Oh, we're not there yet. We still have a little ways to go. It's already hot. The other one, which is bigger, is already hotter than the gas one. That's pretty interesting. Also, I do want to mention, whether you're going gas or electric, you really want a ventilation system that's going to work really well. Check this out. I have a makeup air system in the house. This is about a 400 CFM exhaust, and I have 400 CFM of input air as well that I tuned. Go check out my previous video with Fantech to show you how this works, but this smoke pen just gives you an idea of how well this is working because I've got makeup air in my tight house. This Gaggenau unit that I put in, by the way, this is the #1 brand when it comes to both reliability and performance from Consumer Reports. And if you're not familiar with Gaggenau, this is a French brand. The French know how to cook, and this is really top of the line cookware. Also, the mistake that I made last time, I didn't repeat. Last time I just picked it out of a catalog, basically online, and I didn't do a lot of research. I certainly didn't go to a showroom and ask a professional chef. In this case, for Gaggenau, when I was in Paris earlier this year, I actually visited the Paris showroom to start thinking about what I might do. But when it came time to actually choosing the cooktop, I went to the Houston showroom. They have a working live demo for both Gaggenau, Bosch, and Thermador. By the way, that's all the same company, and those are #1, 2, and 3 on the list of best brands for Consumer Reports. So this is a really well-regarded brand, but they have a working showroom, and the chef cooked a steak for me both on gas and on induction. And one of the things that I was really impressed with is they have a 36-inch wide induction top that has some really interesting features, like they've got Pro mode where I could have a pan on the left side cooking at, let's say, 6.5. I could have a pan on the middle burner at 5.0, and I could have a pan on the right cooking at 3.0, and all I'd have to do is shift that pan over and that pan would change temperatures. I also loved that it was very precise. They had a 0.5 mark for everything from 0 to 10. So in effect, it had 20 settings. My old unit had 0 through 9 boost. And 6, I think I said this earlier, was too low, and 7 was too high. It was super annoying. I'm super excited to have this precision and this control of gas, but I'm also thankful to have a few more settings. Okay, here we are, 5 minutes in. Let's see where we're at here right now. This is good, this is the timer for me. We're at 150 Fahrenheit, and the big one, oh, it's only at 124. So the gas is actually a little faster. Now, this is not the same size pot. Obviously, this pot's twice as big. But interesting to see that gas is catching up. I think my point here is induction can be great. You've got to do your homework. But in my case, I started out in the hole because my wife wanted gas to begin with. And I said, look, we're building an all-electric house, honey. We can't have gas. I don't want to have gas. We want induction. And I think that really set me back. So here we are 4 years later. I finally have this dual fuel option going. And I think the last to the executive summary portion that I wanted to make was by us always going electric and saying, hey, our future is all electric, I'm worried about that. I really like the option of gas. You know, if the power goes out, I have a very large Champion generator outside. I think it's a 12 kW unit. But my panel outside, my generator panel, has my refrigerators, my garage freezer, some lighting circuits from one of my air conditioning circuits. It didn't have enough power for my ovens or my cooktop, so if my power was out, I'd have no cooking. On the other hand, now that I have gas, I have that gas as the fuel. I only need electricity for the spark igniter. And in fact, I hooked my Jackery up to the plug on this cooktop, and it used just a couple of watts to get it started. So you do need power to start these gas units, but the gas is the fuel. The electricity is really just running the electronics and the spark igniter. So in effect, if I have a power outage, now I'm good to go. I can still cook. I don't have to worry about that. I think the same might be true if you're in the real snowy north. You know, I saw recently a device that could hook up to your gas furnace where, you know, your blower on your furnace doesn't use that much electricity, a couple hundred watts, let's say, to blow. But on the other hand, your heat pump, if it's providing the heat for your house in the winter, it uses a fair amount of electricity when it's really trying to heat, when it's, you know, minus 10 outside, let's say. And this device would allow you to run your gas furnace from a small unit, like a Jackery style unit. So I think that there's a big benefit for us having in our, let's say, our mechanical rooms, in our kitchens, a future gas line that you might tap into or you might not. But think about that for future-proofing purposes. Guys, I'm curious, what is your experience? Have you had a good experience with induction? What brands do you like? What features do you like? Are your touch controls working? Look at that, we're boiling here. Actually, the gas beat the induction. Now this, again, this is a smaller pan by a pretty good margin, but we're boiling. Must be 212. It's saying it's 196. It must be 212. This one's not far behind though, and again, it is a bigger pot. We're 158. I've always thought that induction was at least 30 or 40% faster. The other thing you're gonna notice here though is on a really hot day, the gas cooktop will add a little bit more heat to your kitchen. The induction cooktop doesn't really have any heat coming around. It only has heat coming out of the pan. This one you're feeling a little bit of heat around, but I'm super psyched to have both. My point though is consider putting a gas line in those spots. I've got great experience for many, many years using heat pumps to heat and cool my house for my air conditioning system, to heat my water for domestic water use. But if you're in Minnesota, boy, it does make sense to have that gas line still. And I want to see us have the options for multiple fuels. I'll also say, boy, big thanks to Gaggenau. They were super cool inviting me to their showroom in Houston. I think that's available for anybody who's thinking about a Gaggenau appliance in their kitchen. So definitely check them out. Big thanks to those guys for sponsoring. I'm thrilled to have this set up now. Here we go, less than 10 minutes, and I think we're both boiling. Okay, y'all, I made a mistake when I shot the video. I did not have this induction cooktop on boost mode. I only had it on 12, but it turns out this thing actually goes to 13 or boost mode. And I turned it down just to show you for a second, but this has been going for 3 minutes and 35 seconds and we're at a rolling boil. How about that? So it wasn't a fair fight earlier in the video when I had these two. This is definitely the way to go. Unbelievably fast, and it doesn't heat up the kitchen. So there's a lot of benefits to doing this dual fuel kind of setup. Anyways, I'm loving the Gaggenau set so far. Time for me to finish up dinner. I got everything ready to go. I'll see y'all later. Hope you guys had a good holiday. I know I am super psyched to cook some holiday meals on my brand new Gaggenau setup. If you're not currently a subscriber, guys, hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content here every Tuesday and every Friday. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.